Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel where it's all Juve all the time. I'm Alberto. It's October 20th. I've got all the latest news surrounding La Vecchia Signora, right? So we're going to take a look at a little bit of news going on in the rumor mill. Then, of course, the focus will shift to Empoli, which that match will take place tomorrow. And we've got all the build-up, including Max Allegri's press conference and what's going to happen with Chiesa and Pogba and how that's going to affect the next fixture next week, all right? So let's get into it. Alright, Juventini, friendly reminder to like the video and of course subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to the news. As far as the rumor mill goes, let's get that out of the way right out of the gate. And Juve is starting to apparently look at the goalkeeping position, of course, beyond Szczesny, as it's been reported for some time now that once the term ends, Szczesny will be on his way and Juve will look elsewhere. He is 32 years of age and they're starting to look at prospects. And one of them is a Georgian 22-year-old goalkeeper, which is Georgi Mamardashvi, and the other is Marco Carnesecchi, who Juve have both been scouting for quite some time now, all right? So keep tabs on those names as far as goalkeeping goes and Juventus. Now, in terms of some other news, we found out who we are going to face in the Coppa Italia, and that is Monza. Of course, after the shock defeat to them in Serie A earlier a couple weeks ago, you're going to bet that Monza's going to have a sense of belief about them that they can get something out of this, all right? So it's going to be very important for Juve to go into that match with the right attitude and right desire, and they should be easily motivated to right the wrong that took place earlier and get the job done, all right? So Monza in the Coppa Italia, and that match will take place either January 11th or 18th. It is still to be determined, but it's going to be one of those dates, all right? Now, in terms of Empoli, which the match is going to take place tomorrow, we are going to be live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube, okay? So make sure you're here to get ready for that matchup, all right? But in terms of that match, Juve is going to enter a mini retreat today, and that's just to get them all together again, bonding, becoming one, and shifting the focus and getting rid of any outside distractions, all right, so that they can focus on just that match. So mini retreat starting today, match to take place tomorrow. Max Allegri had his press conference ahead of this match tomorrow, and he addressed something that we were all waiting to hear, and that's what's going to happen with Chiesa, what's going on with Pogba. Neither one of them will be on the team list for Empoli, okay? So neither one of them being on the list, but he did say Chiesa is going to be taking place and taking part in a friendly match on Saturday, okay? So now with Chiesa not being in the list for Empoli, playing a friendly on Saturday, the turnaround match is Benfica in the Champions League, which will be Tuesday. Now you'd have to think that he's got even less minutes possibly coming to him in that Champions League match against Benfica, which is crucial for Juventus and is a must win. So without him getting a stiffer test against Empoli, depending how this match goes, of course it could change. If he gets rave reviews and he does quite well, things can change for Benfica. So all eyes are going to be on this friendly that Chiesa is taking part in on Saturday, all right? So now, beyond Empoli, you got another match to look at on Saturday, all right? So we wait and see, and fingers crossed that he can have a decent showing and maybe get more minutes than expected against Benfica. We wait and see. Fingers crossed, all right? Now, in terms of the rest of Max Allegri's press conference, very, very straightforward, okay? Talking about the win in the Derby della Mola against Torino, saying that it was a deserved win. The mentality of the squad was far better and that there is a serenity amongst the squad. He praised Vlahovic, saying that that was one of his best performances for Juventus. He praised Moise Kean, who is on the up over the past couple of weeks, and saying that he is growing in terms of the team overall. He says, look, we have to be focused and be very, very aware of Empoli because they are tactically well organized and will be a stiff test. And he praised Bonucci as a leader, and that is no doubt to kind of squash any rumors that have been circulating for some time now about their relationship being rocky and whatnot, okay? But we know Bremer is injured, so we get to the starting 11. This is what is projected, and that's going to be Szczesny with your three center backs. Danilo, Bonucci, and Sandro. Across the middle in the 3-5-2, you've got Cuadrado, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, and Kostic, with Milik and Vlahovic up top. In terms of this starting 11, my thoughts are I'd like to see a center back next to Bonucci, like Gatti, and maybe sit Sandro in the middle of the park. I would like a little variety. I think it's a little too plain Jane if you've got Locatelli, Rabiot, McKennie. I wouldn't mind Moretti being one of those midfielders in there. Outside of that, it's fine, and we should get the job against Empoli. We need to get the job done against Empoli, and then relax, go back to work, and focus on a big Champions League match against Benfica, because I refuse to think that it's completely over. Our fate is in our own hands. Let's see what happens, and all eyes on Chiesa on Saturday. That's your news break to October 20th, Juventini. All right, you know the drill. All right, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, but drop all your comments, questions, thoughts, opinions, and all the news you just heard. And do not forget to be here live tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time as we get ready for Juve and Empoli to square off. All right, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Ciao tutti.